And welcome back, Huskies Warming House podcast fans. It's the Tape to Tape breakdown. A little bit of a different show for you today because since my hockey tapes are on stone tablets and on 35 millimeter film, we have yet to find someone that will convert that for us. Since Noah, my co-host here, has some film digitally already because he was born maybe about 5 or 6 years ago, we're going to break down a little segment from his youth hockey days and then make a lot of fun of him. So that's kind of what we're doing. No, let's bring up the first clip. This is where, I've always wanted to be physically violent with you a couple of different times, especially when I'm on ice hockey skates. You had basically a breakout occur, and the defensive forward that's going to be covering you is going to take a couple of comedic errors and essentially is going to not proceed with what he was trying to do for you.
Yeah, definitely. I pulled up the wrong clip. So hold on.
And this is, and you know what, at least you can scroll through yours. We have to go through, like for mine, you have to go, first of all, out to the garage. You have to pull out all these stone tablets. You have to figure out which one it is. You have to have a hieroglyphic expert read it, tell you what's going on. You can edit these, but it's not as easy as this, which is, I think, why we're doing yours first. But I think we have the right clip up now. At least I think we do, Noah. So let's go ahead and begin.
Yeah, so I'm right in the middle of the ice right here in a white sweater, and the guy that we're going to pay attention to, the other person in this clip, I'm right here, and my counterpart is going to be right here. So let's roll through it, Nick, because I think we found the right one this time.
Yes, we did. So it's going to end up being a pass from, I believe, a defenseman to the weak side boards here, and what's going to happen is this, whoop! He's going to try for a big hit, and in the Chris Berman show, he's going to miss the big physical hit. But Noah, this clip isn't about missing a physical play. It's actually the angle that this defensive player makes, as you can see. But what we're trying to illustrate in this clip is the proper angle to take. So I first want to stop the clip in a very specific spot. Let's roll the clip a little bit, and I want to stop when he starts to take the angle towards you. Let's pause it right here. And I think this is important because at the end of it, Noah, we've seen this clip a couple of times before taping. And it's important to note, especially from a forward standpoint, where you are in relation to where the puck is. And what I mean by that is, are you above the play? Are you even? Or are you behind the play? And why that's important in the situation, Noah, is it definitely does set up how you're going to attack or force the opposing forward, you in this case, in terms of how you want to essentially attack this player. And what he does is he takes an angle that essentially is, I got one thing in my mind, I'm just going to make a big hit. Well, good thing that he has two defensemen that are recognizing the play, that are coming back to support. But let's just say that he's caught deep in the zone of the defenseman, maybe just his sort of foot or didn't transition well. This could have been an odd man situation for you and your team going the other way. And the angle he takes here is just absolutely terrible. So, Noah, do you have anything to add onto that before we move forward in the clip?
Yeah, definitely. And it certainly, as you mentioned, defenseman changes that thing. Number 12 in this play, the defenseman up on the left part of your screen. If he steps up here, then if you're number 6, who I actually did get to meet a little bit later, actually during the national tournament, and we kind of had a chuckle about this. But if his defenseman steps up there, then he's got to be the one as the winger that's coming through the middle of the ice that has to support that play, like you mentioned. So if you're not going to step up here, then you're at least supporting the play. But, number 12 backs up right away. And it's funny because I can feel this play as if it was yesterday. It's funny how that works. But it doesn't really matter how old you are, Nick. I think I could put you or I on a half wall myself. And you would still kind of feel that pressure coming down, right? Something's coming. You're not going to get a puck and be able to skate up free, especially in the college game. So I would definitely say that part of this is, even at this point, I recognize that somebody's coming to probably try to hit me or disrupt my play here. So that's also in the back of my mind too, just knowing that maybe I turned into some sort of a mother at this point, Nick. Eyes in the back of my head for just a little bit. Thanks to Dawn Grant for giving me her pair in this moment. But if you're a winger anywhere, especially because this play develops so quickly. So here, like, I'm in actually a really poor position to get this puck. Like, you don't want to get a puck like this as a winger where you're coming up the wall and you have your back turned towards the play to everybody else that's coming up in the play. I think of, was it Marty Havlat against Nicholas Kronwall all those years ago?
He definitely got Kronwall, and yes, that was one of them. They call it the suicide pass, right? When your head is down, you're basically not, head is not to the north side of the ice, if you want to call it. So you're actually looking back. If number 12 reads this and he's maybe a little bit older, such as Nicholas Kronwall, this is possibly a step up type scenario. This is again, a junior type game. So his primary thought is, I got to get back and cover from the opposing player. But as you mentioned, maybe a little bit more mature, more aggressive defenseman, especially if he skates well. And in today's NHL, all the defensemen coming through are very good skaters. This could have been a very dangerous and a big blindside hit that you could have taken on this play.
Yeah, well, not like I have a brain inside my cranium to worry about anyway if it would have happened. But anyway, Nick, let's jump on to the next frame because I know you definitely have some more things to point out to our viewers here.
Yes, we do. So let's go ahead and just maybe a couple of seconds here. So you're going to receive the puck here off the wall. Let's stop it right here. I think this is good. At this point, you have possession of the puck. Now, again, as you mentioned, the defenseman here is in a defensive position. He's backing up, he's square to you, and he's clearly giving you the lane in front of you. Now, this is where, as the forward, you have to read where you are, what's developing, and what can I do to disrupt this play. Certainly, a physical play is not out of the question, but it's how you approach. It's the angle of approach that's important here. Now, when we talked briefly about where you are as above, even, or behind the play, if you're not anything but above the play, if you're not above the play, your primary instinct shouldn't be go to do a Tom Wilson or a Nicholas Kronwall hit. You just simply don't have the angle here. This opposing forward is even with you on this play, which means you have defensive strong side support here, which means, to me, this is a stick on puck scenario, and you almost have to, as your angle is going to see, go from where he is straight to the blue line. And all you're basically going to do is cut you off. And essentially, you want to do two things here, Noah, right? You want to force you to either stop, so you're taking away the speed from that forward with the puck, or two, if you can get your stick in there, maybe you disrupt it, maybe you force a turnover, and then it's support back to your defenseman, and all of a sudden it's transition in a really good spot for the black team here. At least I think it's black, or if it's dark green, I can't really tell. I'm colorblind, no matter what. I'm actually not the colorblind, but this footage is old. But then it's a good, quick transition and a very dangerous opportunity going back for the other team. So let's play this clip a little bit more, unless I missed something, Noah, that you maybe want to point out here too.
Just very quick that I just wanted to add is, when you talk about stick on puck, a good reference point is actually in the video, and pretty much that blue strip up against the blue line there. Like, I'm going to be coming up the wall, right? Like, why would I want to go east-west when I can go north-south? I want to be able to pick up this puck with as much speed as I possibly can and go up the ice. So if you're Mr. Silva here trying to defend this play, it's a little bit of geometry/trigonometry here, Nick, where you're trying to take that angle towards that blue line to cut me off, like you mentioned, because you do have that weak side support of the two Williston Tetons coming up on the weak side to defend, coming back into the rush.
Absolutely. Let's go and roll the clip a little bit further forward here. No, let's stop right here. So really, at this point, he's not terrible. He's really not terrible just yet. And now you can see his stick. He's not really reaching here, though. And at this point, this is where, if you're trying to cut somebody off, this is where you want to take almost that curved angle. You don't want to go straight into somebody here. And if anything, your stick should be towards the back of you. You're trying to sweep it up front because, again, you're trying to force you to stay on the wall here. And then that's when, again, maybe because you see that you get even with the shoulder, right? And then he gets in front of you. That's when you pivot back. You do have some support coming to the middle of the ice, but it's a good force from that forward there. You're taking away the most north player on the rush. You're taking away the speed here. And at the end of the day, you're doing your job. You're trying to force a play, whether it's an early pass or for you to stop dead in your tracks. So right here, he's not terrible, but his stick positioning could be better.
Yeah, definitely. And you have to realize here, like, if you're going to commit on a hit here, this is where, if you're even a little bit late, you got to be all in on this play, right? Because now I've gotten the puck and I'm able to turn my head back. Now I see him, right? You talk about that sixth sense. Well, I know that pressure has been coming ever since was pretty much where my now defenseman behind me is. I knew that somebody was coming. Well, now as I turn my head and see him in my peripheral vision, I've confirmed that, right? So now that I know that I have that pressure that's somewhat immediate, like you just mentioned. I know I've either got to chip this puck off the glass, try to stop up, like you mentioned, and regroup or make a cross ice play, or I've got to find a way to get myself out of danger. And like you mentioned, I don't really have his stick presence to disrupt this play. He's looking for nothing but the big hit here, and it just happened to work out in our favor.
Let's go ahead and roll the clip a little bit further, Noah, and you're going to see. So we get to the blue line right there. Again, you talk about being now at this point when you're trying to make a hit and you're going on a straight line. What is it? In order to avoid being hit by a train, you just step once to the left or once to the right. And that's essentially what you do here. Step once to your left. And he's lucky that he didn't take out the referee there. He actually ended up going face first to the boards. It's actually kind of a dangerous play for him, to be perfectly honest with you. But more importantly here, again, you talk about that straight angle there. He tries to go for kind of that opposite curve there. Instead of going towards you and then trying to rub you out and then just, again, try to force your hand, he's going for the big hit. And that's such an easy play to step around when you're the forward with the puck. And as you can see here, thankfully, they had some numbers coming in the back check. You do have some support. It ends up being a 2-on-2 situation. But again, very clearly here, he could have been incredibly injured there too. You may not have that support. This could easily be an odd man rush for your team going in that situation.
Yeah, definitely. And it's one of those things where, like, this isn't a very common, like, move, right? Like, I certainly didn't use this move often as a player, but I know that one of the things that you have to think about as a player is, right, I'm a left-handed player who's playing right wing in this hockey game, right? And part of the reason is because I feel comfortable, on my offhand in that situation. So knowing that, and knowing that I'm getting a puck as I'm trying to come up the wall, the puck is, getting corralled and pretty much on my backhand at this point, knowing that pressure is still immediate right here as I move up the ice, I get one stick handle and then I realize, well, I've got pressure on me, right? Like, I've got to do something. I don't have any time to do anything. So what better thing to do on your backhand than just leave the puck there? Luckily I was able to get a bounce and it worked out, but it's just one of those things where it's like, you kind of just got to make do and take what is given. And I was just able to slip by, and the rest is history, I suppose. Forever etched in history on my YouTube page, apparently.
So I think it's important for us to tell the folks, especially for young maybe hockey watchers that watch this channel, what could he have done as the opposing forward to do a better play here? Let's go back to right about here where he does get the puck. So let's go ahead and play the clip forward again. He's in a good spot here, right, Noah? So he's in between the middle there. He's reading the play again. It's a weak side pass. Now at this point, instead of just going to where he thinks you're going to end up on the boards here, this is where you want to go towards you more east-west here, and then take that angle to where if you're coming up the wall here, right, and he is here and you're going this way, instead of coming this way, he's got to come in and then swoop this way. The stick has got to be on the inside here, because where I want the stick to be is I want to stick it in between where your skates are and where the stick blade is. Because again, for you on your backhand here, for you to shield the puck and to not have a turnover, what's the first thing you're gonna do? You're gonna turn. You're gonna use the back of your body to turn and protect the puck. It's an easy stop it for you to do. Number one, I've done what I should have done, which is take away your speed. So I've stopped your breakout. I'm forcing you to look at a pass, which you do have one passing option for your support coming through in the blue line here. But more so, I've forced a decision on you. Instead, he takes that sharp angle, and I think it's an easy step around here. So let's play it forward a little bit further from, if we can.
Nick, I just want to point out too, you talk about as he's coming up the ice here, and making an east-west play, if we back it up just a little bit here, and I know this is half speed, but right here, right, even though I'm turning to try to pick this puck and get as much speed as I can, like, I have to set my feet to catch this puck, right? And he's got all the speed in the world to come across the ice here. He can actually come like underneath me a little bit if he really wants to, and take that east-west angle and disrupt, lift my stick, kind of just, essentially rub me out and, push me up into the boards and just give me no option to turn backwards in the first place. And then I can't go anywhere because he's got the speed and the momentum to steal that puck. So just like you mentioned, I just wanted to point that out, why that angle is so important as a young hockey player. And really, big hockey hits, right? The big Nicholas Kronwall hits, the big open ice plays, they don't happen that much in hockey, especially in today's game. And the reason for that is to commit to a big hit, you have to have a player that's really unsuspecting as to what's going on. You have to have a lot of speed. You have to have the right angle. And it really just kind of has to work out, because if you step up and you get beat like this player does, you're in some serious potentially trouble in terms of an odd man rush. So really, if you're going to take anything away from this as a young hockey player, as we move on to the next portion of this clip, is, it's got to be a stick first mentality, right? The ultimate thing that wins hockey games is not players, it's the puck. So you have to take care of the puck first. And like you mentioned, just more active stick on puck presence and just understanding, how can I shut this play down where like he doesn't have to take this puck away from me. He doesn't have to, send me to the fifth row. How can he disrupt my timing to give himself, his defenseman, his back checkers, and his goaltender the best chance to read and react off of this play and slow it down for his team and potentially either, force us to dump the puck in or turn the puck over in general.
100%. So let's go ahead and just play through the clip one more time here to finish it out. And again, that angle he takes doesn't commit, as you said, to stick on pucks. So he's not forcing you. He's giving you every indication that this is I'm a body first only type play here. And again, with the incorrect angle, you having your head up and aware. And I think it's important to mention that as well as a winger. I think as you've alluded to a couple of times, there's always a natural instinct when you're on the half wall that you have an instinct, I'm going to get hit. I have a target on my back. So you always have to have an instinctual level of where's my next options, whether that's my feet, what is my support coming through? Is it close support? Is it in the middle? What do I need to do to make sure I also don't turn the puck over at the defensive blue line? And for you, again, good read, your head's up, you make a good step around, and the play continues. You're able to get the puck in and apply some offensive pressure.
Yeah, definitely. And Nick, before we go, I figure, this is me older. This is me, whatever it is. I don't know, 4 years ago, 5 years ago now. I can't believe it's been almost half a decade. But I think let's have a little bit of fun here, Nick, to finish this one out. I got one more clip that we have from my younger years, my yesteryears, I should say. This is I must have been about 7 or 8 years old. So early 2000s. You were probably what, in high school at this point?
Yeah, it kind of depends, actually. So early 2000s, I was a freshman in 2001 at Eastview High School down in Apple Valley. At that point, that was Coach Gibbons that was coaching Eastview High School, the former St. Cloud State assistant coach. But let's actually play it back here and see what we have to do. And, I think it would be kind of fun, Noah. We haven't talked about this before. Maybe I should do a play-by-play recap of what actually happens here first and then go back and break this down. I think that would be kind of fun, just to kind of give me a setup of what period are we in right now? First, second, third, is the game tied? What's going on here?
We're definitely in the third period. I don't know how I know that, but I think it's because of the other clips that are in front of me. So we're in the third period, and I'm taking the draw here against the Souris Elks is who. So we are the Bottineau Braves, and we're playing the Souris Elks in the third period. We are Adams, I think.
Sure. And are we tied or are we leading? What's going on here?
I think we're winning by like 2, maybe 3. It's a close game, but like we're the better team. So
got it. So let's go ahead and roll the clip, and I'll do my best impression here. I've only seen this clip twice since then.
All right. On your mark, get set, go.
As they roll into the face-offs, the Braves, and Noah Grant's going to go ahead of the draw. Going to try to split the D. He does. Noah Grant's in a breakaway. He scores! Noah Grant splitting the D and then going top shelf where Mama hides the cookies. And the Bottineau Braves now lead it 5-2.
Kudos.
That was pretty fun. Now, we got to make fun of you now because that's just what we do. First of all, you think of I do a lot of D2 Mighty Ducks references because that was my movie growing up. It just was. You did kind of a Kenny Wu split the D, but you didn't go underneath anybody. You just kind of split in between the two guys there. This is definitely little kid soccer almost. It's amazing. You win the draw, just a couple steps, and then try to do that sandwich between the Bash brothers there. You're able to kind of slip through there. You must have some butter, I think, on your jersey. Is that how you did it? Just so maybe some olive oil. What'd you use?
Yeah, well, my mom wouldn't let me use Crisco, so I had to pick the next little bit of margarine and just let her rip, right?
You would just have to. And then let's look at this goaltender. I mean, is this Ron Hextall in the net? I mean, who is this? He's deep in the net. He has no idea what's about to hit him, but he's not challenging you. I mean, I don't even think Ilya Bryzgalov would have a better chance of stopping this puck than this guy. You have a pretty decent shooting angle, but you're kind of looking at the puck. He could have just dove out and kind of slashed you and tripped you, caused a penalty shot. Instead, he's just looking at you like, what you gonna do, man? He's guessing. You have him guessing. You haven't really done anything. So, what the heck is this goalie doing? I just don't know.
It's definitely amateur hour, right? I mean, that's definitely the thing that we got to pick out here. I don't know. I still think with this form, if I can defend myself in any way, I don't know. I don't know if David Rennick in his day could have stopped this one, Nick. I'm going to put that one out there. I don't know if he could. I just feel like, you know,
you might be right there, Noah, because if I'm looking at the video clip, it looks like you have some reinforced glass that's in front of you. So is this like a juvenile prison rink that we're at? I mean, seriously, what is this? This is reinforced glass there with steel webbing. This is the stuff I see when you go into the penitentiary to visit somebody, honestly. Not that I've ever done that, but I mean, that's what it looks like. So maybe you're the problem child and this is where you had to go play hockey. I have no idea.
So this is our home barn. I'll give you the dimensions of this as we roll through. I'll give people one more chance to take a look at this clip. So this is our rink. I believe it's 79 feet wide by 196 feet long. So normal hockey rinks are 200 by 85, in case you were tracking that. Actually, Souris River, they have an Olympic sheet, 200 by 100. But yeah, so we have 3-foot glass. The glass on the opposing end, if you saw in the last video, is actually the same material that the boards are made of. The boards are real wood. And then you also have the posts that are dug deep into the ground, and then the stanchions stick out about an inch in every direction. So, and then that netting, it's still there. So I don't know, Nick. I'm done dissecting this clip because I'm done being attacked by your nonsense.
It is nonsense no matter how you describe it for me. But with that being said, that will do it for episode number 7, Tape to Tape broadcast. Again, along with the superstar forward Noah Grant, I'm the demotivator, play-by-play commentator Nick Maxson. We'll see you folks next week for episode number 8.